Hey, chatters. Next in our series of agents, we have Dream. The purpose of Dream is to help you brainstorm ideas for text to image prompts. And even within the GPT, it has access to Dolly, so it can help you make those images. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to use the prompt. And then we're actually going to go behind the scenes and look at the prompt itself. It is open source. I'm going to have it up on GitHub. I'll show you that at the end of the video and have the link in the description. But let's create some images. So first off, pretty much like all of our prompts, we have this start button. So we're just going to click that. You can dive right in if you want, but in case you have no idea how to start this conversation, this is how you do it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is give it some idea of what is it that we want to create. Funny story. I did an image of a cat and a dog sparring. It went against their policies. So we're going to rewind and we're going to do something a little bit more PG. Ship flying past the moon in anime style. So let's send that and we'll see what it comes up with. Just like a lot of our prompts, it's going to ask you some questions. Don't feel like you have to answer any of these. In a second, I'm just going to say, make it all up, I trust you. But this is a good way to get at what's the image you actually want, so we can convert that into the template it's going to fill out. So for now, I'm just going to say, I trust you, make it awesome. And we'll send that, and it should take a second, and then it's going to come up with a few prompts for us to look over and decide on. So the first one we have is Neon Odyssey, the Cruiser of Dreams. War Machines, In the Void. And number 3, Cosmic Serenity, A Lone Traveler. So you can obviously look at any of these. You're going to see they're in this kind of weird format. Don't worry about that. And obviously when we get into the prompt, I'll show that a little bit more and why we do that. But you just got to pick the one that you want. I'm into Serenity right now. Why not? And I'm just going to say 3. I don't even have to spell everything out or copy and paste this back in. Just by context, it's going to know. It's going to ask one more time, you ready? Any more tweaks? I'm just going to say, make this a wide image. You might say square or portrait or whatever. I'll be real with you guys. I've been fighting Dolly to make these images. It's a little bit ridiculous. Instead, I'm going to move us over to Leonardo, where we'll definitely be able to do this. So this is what it came up with in terms of the prompt. I'm going to be showing off something here called Flow in Leonardo. I really like it because what it does is it just generates a bajillion different images, and then you click down the route of the ones that you like the most. Let's go through a few of these and decide which one do we like. So I've decided to like this one, so we're going to go more like this. And now it's going to make images that use its elements and look somewhat similar to generate a bunch more. And then you go through and you decide, okay, which one do I like the most of these? Like this one. So I like something like this one. I'll upscale it, make it nice and pretty, and then post this wherever I want to post it. Let's struggle with Dolly a little bit more and see what happens. Don't mention any specific artists. Let's make it a sailor on his ship in space. Hey, we got that one to work. Wow, that's actually pretty badass. So if you can get around the policies here, I guess I'll give you an idea. But honestly, this is more useful for, I think, when you get outside of Dolly, because Dolly's going to change your prompt anyway. If I now go into the info here, this is not how I set up the prompt. It does a sort of pass over your prompt to improve it itself. So this is much better for when you're doing things with some other sort of text to image generator to help you come up with the prompt and get some ideas and iterate and then generate some images. Now let's spend some time going through the prompt itself. So as usual, we have our mission section. We're saying act as Dream, an expert in painting an image in people's minds. Your job is to support the user in creating text to image prompts using format. We'll get to the format below. Then we have the instructions, which is more or less just the conversation flow. So we have start by gathering context, relevant information, clarification on the image. Once we've confirmed, we give 3 prompts in format, and then we'll generate the image. And I say verbatim, it never actually listens to that for the description. Then we have the format. So we do prompt title, which you saw, and then we have these 3 backticks to create a box for us to copy and paste out of. And then I try to give some wonky donkey language of fill in the blank for actually creating the prompt. Now, again, you might find a template that's better, like you want a specific kind of category or words or style or whatever, and you can change this as much as you want. Don't let it scare you away. You could literally stick this into some sort of LLM and be like, hey, I want the same structure as this, but, and then add whatever you want for that. But just to walk through, we have image type. So what are we looking at? The subject, like what is the focus of this? What's the action going on? The setting? What time is it? What's going on in the background? What kind of style are we going for? All this kind of information that you might want to have when generating an image, we've just turned it into kind of like a prompt libs, right? An ad libs where it's going to fill in based on the information you give it and your style preferences. And then we have some guidelines and just the introduction, and that's about it. So all it's doing is gathering some information from you, using it to fill out this template. And then if you want and you don't run afoul of OpenAI's policies to generate the image in Dolly, or just bring that over to whatever you want to use as your image generation tool. A reminder that this is all available on GitHub for you. In fact, one of the things it'll start by saying is how you find the prompt. If you don't want to search on GitHub, it'll tell you, just ask it. But you just go to ProfSynapse/dream text to image, and you'll come here and you can just click the prompt.txt, and you'll see here we have the entire prompt for you to take and do with as you wish. So please, if you found this useful, leave a star on the GitHub. And as always, please come visit us at www.synapticlabs.ai and come hang out on our Discord as well. Thanks, chatters.